Welcome to the Racing Alternative. Yeah, we're back again. They couldn't hold us down. We're going to give it to you large. Stephen Derbyshire's been all the way around the world racing this week. I went to Cheltenham, sadly, and just schmoozed up to all the big knobs there. Didn't get me anywhere in any case. I hope whatever you've done and whatever you've had a bet on this past week, it's been a profitable one and you've garnered a few shekels or two. Mr. Darbyshire, I have a message for you. I went into the press room at Cheltenham on Friday, and I won't name the guy who told me. I'm not exactly sure of his name. I kind of know who he represents, right? And he said to me, I like your new podcast. It's quite refreshing, isn't it? It's quite new, the way you go about it, quite large. He goes, but who's that posh git you're doing it with? I said, I tell you what, if you saw his sofa, you wouldn't say he's posh.
It's probably Dave Yates, isn't it, in his bloody cravat?
Yeah, that's right. He must be your once-removed brother, isn't he?
Yes.
Anyway, it was kind of a backhanded compliment in any case.
Oh, it's lovely of him to say. Thank you, Mr. Pressman. I'll see you at the HWPAs. Buy me a drink, for God's sake, because they cost a bloody fortune.
When you go up and get your trophy for the #1 content maker on December the 1st,
yes.
Don't forget, you're going to give me a bell on my mobile. As soon as you come down and give me your winner's speech, I'm zooming. It's Lancaster Gate, isn't it? I've got to go. Is that where it is?
Yes. It's Lancaster Gate.
I'll see you there. I'm going to get absolutely bloody blubbered that night if you win it, okay? Great news.
Yes, we'll get blubbered.
We'll get blubbered. What have we got coming up? We'll have a look at that fiasco at Plumpton. What was going on? What was going on there? Declarations for the Betfair chasing racing this Friday at Ascot. What a load of bollocks that is. We've got questions from 2 listeners as well. We've got the future of the Racing League to look at. That's gone by the wayside, we think. And, of course, the all-important selection and tips as well. And we have to, because they're backing us and paying us the odd penny. We'd like to thank our sponsor, NRG.bet, for supporting this brand new podcast, the newest podcast on the racing block. Okay, I was there at Cheltenham for Friday and Saturday. Wasn't there, Stephen, for Sunday? You would have watched the racing like me, and many people would have, on TV and at the track. Some really good figures at the track, which is good to see at Cheltenham, despite a burger being £9. Was there anything from Cheltenham that you almost like put in your black book and you said, you know what, I want to follow this next time out, or maybe longer term throughout the season?
Do you want the honest answer? I was far more interested in the racing at Newcastle on Friday. I was far more interested in the racing at Wetherby on Saturday. Right. I mean, of course I looked, and then when I thought Sunday, I mean, it was very much that Greatwood, just as an example, they're all saying this Alexa is a second coming. Reminds me of a horse. Do you remember Rigmarole 20 years ago? Probably more than that. Just reminds me a bit of Rigmarole, but probably won't be up to it. But when he's beating horses like Helmvane, Welsh Charger, and Favois, who's older than you,
no,
I have some reservations about that form. I think you could do the Cheltenham meeting in 2 days.
Okay, no, I agree with you. I like to look at that Albert Bartlett. I thought it was interesting because no drama, no end. One, of course, for Nichols and Cobden, the talking horse. And he won well in the end, but I thought the eye catcher was the third King's Bucks. The first 3 fished absolute mile clear of anything. Dara O'Keefe gave King's Bucks a really patient ride, really only got after him about, 150, 200 yards before the last flight. And he stayed on really strongly. He's got breeding to die for to stay further. He'll get easily the 3 miles of the Albert Bartlett proper. Whether be aimed at that, it's the obvious place to go. I think he will be, and I think the Cobden Nichols horse will probably stay at 2.5 miles for the Turner's Hurdle. But King's Bucks ran well above what was expected. You know, I know you do as well as I do, right? So when the horses come back, I kind of trot on the blind side to where the winner first, second, and third, and I try to, hear what's going on. And Henry de Bromhead was really complimentary. Said, he'll make a chaser in time, but he goes, we are probably going to race him over 3 miles from here on in. So you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes, you divvy. You don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to know that the Albert Bartlett per se itself in March is going to be the end game as far as he is concerned. And very quickly, I want to touch on the Southern National at Fontwell, where my big gamble in tip record high was given a piss poor ride.
It takes you just before the race. I thought, aye.
I mean, 25s into 5s we recommended online, 25s. Out the back, never nearer. But there is an old boy I fancy will probably win in the next couple of runs called Animal, who's back down to his last winning mark, was given a really good ride by the young female.
Isabel Ryder.
Isabel, you love Isabel, don't you? It gives a really good ride. And I just thought he blew up between the third and second last. He's a player next time up. But Harry Bannister is not... Harry, you're not on my Christmas card list.
Dear, oh dear. I'll give you one from the last week, should I? I thought Fingalbridge ran a fantastic race behind Lambert at Exeter. And I think over further, in a handicap, he could be very, very interested indeed.
Okay, we'll note that one down. I like it. Wherever you are, wherever you're listening to us, you're very warmly welcome. We're available across all media inputs, of course. You can even get it by Stephen Darbyshire. Actually, really funny. We've got 2 questions a little bit later on, and we'll talk about that very shortly. Don't forget, of course, it is Safer Gambling Week as well. Visit nrg.bet to get involved. And for resources around safer gambling, please visit gambleaware.org. Important week for the gambling industry, of course.
Very important. Don't have nightmares. Do sleep well.
Calm. Budget coming up. Nightmare on Newmarket High Road. It's going to be a bloodbath. I absolutely fear for the worst. I also fear for the worst whenever there's amateur riders races. There was a really good amateur riders race won by Hung Jury at Cheltenham when I was there, who I managed to back. I had a naughty tenner each way. But compare that to what happened at that Plumpton and that Fiasco is absolutely absurd, Mr. Darbyshire.
Well, it quite is absurd, but you know, they are amateurs, so hitting them over the head with a rolling pin might not quite be the answer. I can't believe it.
I could just see you doing that in the play beforehand. You'd relish that, wouldn't you?
Yes. But in all seriousness, you know, you've got all these different colour flags, which of course they should learn, and we've now got this sort of archaic thing with whistles. Now, apparently, if you blow a whistle, you know how John Anderson used to do in Gladiators.
Oh, yeah. No, I never used to watch that rubbish, but you obviously did. Well,
yes, that is the...
Other takeaways are available.
Yes, that is the signal to stop race. But the problem with it is apparently the whistle, I don't think, differentiates between stop race or omit obstacle or anything. So... I think some of this, there must be a better bloody way of doing it than a whistle. I don't know. Why can't we have illuminated signs? You know, like they have on football with the... Yes. You know what I mean, when there's a substitute coming on. Just flight omitted, or...
Yeah, but someone raving, maybe a flashing light, a flashing red light or something, you know? That's what they need to do, and then automatically, red is danger, is stop. I mean, it's not rocket science, is it? It just...
Well, I just think the thing of whistles is just it's almost like something out of a Carry-On film, isn't it? Well, and that race at Plumpton was like a Carry-On film. You could imagine amateurs like Augusta Probworthy and Sidney Ruff Diamond riding in that, couldn't you?
Oh, one man and his dog, one of the two.
Yes.
Anyway, they got it wrong. They got to look at it again. And it is typical that kind of a situation, it just keeps on arising. Now, one situation that is in doubt now, Stephen, I know your eyes are going to light up because you're going to love it if we heard about the future of the Racing League. One of your favourite set of race meetings, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I once went to one at dear old Wolverhampton, so I thought, well, I'll just go for a Thursday like I do 30 times a year. I'll just turn up, you know, I'll punt, and then I'll bugger off home. And honestly, it was horrible. I left after one race. I just hated it, hated every minute. But racing, this is a very simple concept, and this Jeremy Ray, God knows. I mean, if you've seen the company accounts, they're absolutely appalling. can't get through his thick head that racing is not a team sport. Okay?
Yeah, it is. It's never worked in
We
the
back
show,
horses to win.
Yeah.
It's an individual thing. We don't need confusing colours and teams from the West, despite half of the jockeys living in Newmarket and all this frankly rubbish. And I think the other point is that what it did was it took away. You were just plonking fixtures in the middle of the summer for very good prize money, and there's an established pattern, and there's a reduced horse population in the country, as I think people will know. And all it did was it diluted the weekend races, which people were actually interested in, rather than the complete and utter sort of, arse-sniffing bollocks that came about from the racing league. I mean, it was just a massaging, egocentric, terrible thing, wasn't it?
Okay, I'm going to conclude from those words. He didn't like it, quite obviously. What I do want to see is I want to see that kind of prize money kept in racing. We don't want to lose it because there were some really good prizes up for some pretty good moderate handicappers as well. And it's going to be replaced by this Friday night series. Does that fill you with happiness and joy?
Well, I liked it on Twitter to saying, racing is very, very good at coming up with all these great ideas to attract new people. But to be honest with you, when you've got a leak and it's pissing out the sides, like a gushing tap of people who've been for years who don't want to go, maybe just try catering for them first. I'm a belligerent bugger, so I will probably go to that first Wolverhampton one because I go to Wolverhampton all the bloody time and I'll see what it's like.
I will try it with an open mind. I will definitely try it with an open. I'll try not to go to Wolverhampton because I don't want to bloody bump into you, but I will try with an open mind. Anything new, I think, has got to be given one chance for sure. So I will go to the Friday night series by Arc. But let's see what happens, and then we can come back on here and maybe get someone from Arc or from the BHB. And let's have a natter. Let's have a.
Well, I have asked the BHA multiple times to come on podcasts, and they are very reluctant. They've got their own thing, haven't they? With Nick Lightfoot hosting it, and they're very, very reluctant to come on. Yes, yeah. I mean, I do like Nick Lightfoot, but it's nobody's probing them, are they? What they need is a big knitting needle at the bottom.
Yeah, it's like they're almost saying, and how's your sister, and how's your daughter in that race at Huckbridge on Galloway on Sunday, and will you be having pheasant for lunch on Sunday? We don't want to know about that. We want to ask the real questions. We're going to have actually, hopefully, someone on with real qualifications to talk to in our next series on the Racing Alternative, probably next week. Now, I want to talk about, we just talked now about the prize money for the team racing series. I mean, it was great, wasn't it? Have you seen the card for Friday? Have you seen it?
I'd ask you, yeah.
155 grand up for grabs, 41 races, 3 races with 4 runners, a race with 5 runners for 35k. I'm just astounded. I'm gobsmacked that people are saying not enough prize money in racing at a medium to high level. That's why we don't send our horses. And here, this Ascot meeting on ground that's going to be absolutely wonderful. It's going to be gorgeous national owned ground. They aren't attending. It makes no sense to me, Steve.
Well, I think we've alluded to it earlier. There's a lesser horse population. Fair play to Ascot, actually. It costs you a quid to get in tomorrow, which goes to charity. So I don't think anybody, and I just wish the public had something better to go at. Now, if you look at the shape of the races, if you like, but 20 years ago, these have got 15 runners. And this is the really worrying thing. Yeah. You've in maiden hurdle, 2.5 miles. There's 4 bloody runners. I mean, what's going on? The next one was 4 runners. I think it's a symptom of what we all know, that there are too many fixtures. And then people actually unfairly, I am going to come to the BHA's defence here. Now, you could go back an awfully long time as to when this came in. But the fact is the racecourses primarily own the fixtures. They are an asset on a balance sheet. So there is no business in the land who's gonna sell one of their going to just give up one of their assets. But for the good of the sport, maybe they should. So maybe this Ascot meeting should be a one-day meeting, or maybe, Cheltenham last week, we've said, should be 2 days, and less is more. It's a sport of racing. It's not the sport of 2 or 3, 4 runners just piddling round a track. I'm quite disappointed for that card at Ascot when they're giving it free admission.
Well, Stephen, we sit in the past. We go for what things have happened in the Victorian times, and we very rarely change it in horse racing. And I think the ultimate example is the prize money at Royal Ascot, which is but a shadow of that you get at the big meetings in Hong Kong, Singapore, even Bahrain, and in Australia. Why won't Royal Ascot, why the hell don't they have sponsors so every single race, every race, including the handicaps, is worth at least $500,000, and every Group 1 race is worth at least $1.5 million? They need to get sponsors in from Royal Ascot. Why don't they do it? Tradition. What a load of bollocks. And people are scared about doing something new that changes the setup, the organisation that has gone before them for the past 50, 60 years. But we're in a new period. We should be in an enlightened period for racing where things need to change, and we need to swallow the bug, don't we?
Well, we do. Yeah, I don't think you want to change too many things. I'm not convinced sponsorship at Ascot. Look, if they can make it make sense on a balance sheet, why the bloody hell would you want to see somebody sponsor? I'm not completely convinced on that. You don't want to change for change's sake. I think the central point here is there are too many fixtures for these horses to run at, so it stifles competition.
Racing Population it is. You're listening and watching the Racing Alternative. Good to have you with us. He's Stephen Darbyshire. He's up for an award on Monday, December the 1st, for best content. If he comes back and he wins it, he's going to be bloody unbearable. I don't know what the hell I am going to do at all. Very quickly, he went to Cheltenham at the weekend, as you know, and there's been a big thing made about Cheltenham and the festival, prices of tickets, prices of hotels, and prices of food, which I thought still were astronomical at Cheltenham. And then you tweeted back to me when I put it on X that this is still countrywide. It still remains a problem at racecourses, doesn't it, SD?
Well, it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. Wherever there are some exceptions. Ludlow do it very well, I think.
Yeah, brilliant.
Ludlow are great at it, and it tends to be actually the independents who don't have all these. It's like the COVID contracts. Do you remember those with that dreadful cow, Michelle Rome? There's that far between the end user and the supplier that these prices seem to be so high. The fact of the matter is, you can get. I would tell you the best one on a British racecourse. There is a steak sandwich, lovely steak. They pile it on for you at Hamilton, and it's £6. Jesus Christ. If I went to Cheltenham or Ascot for that, they'd want to score and they'd want you to kiss the waitress.
Do you get onions with that as well?
Yes, you do. And cheese as an optional extra for the same price.
You dirty man. And Stephen had 4 after each race, 1 after each race.
Yes, I ate a cow.
It's interesting, isn't it? I actually ate 20 miles outside Cheltenham before I got to the course, and I had one of these bad boy big breakfasts. $9.95, which probably would have been $30.95 at Cheltenham. But we don't talk about that. Of course we don't. Questions. We have listeners. We have questions from listeners, Stephen. Look at the surprise.
What listeners? Bloody hell.
Surprise look on your face. Here's one from Scotty Cash. I'm going to read this from my computer up above, so beware my eyes just moving away from the main screen. He says, I'm really enjoying the No Nonsense podcast with the intriguing and insightful commentary. Well, there's a plus for you, Stephen. He goes, I love the way he describes himself. He goes, as a putrid punter and pretty much small stakes each way, backer a lucky 15 whose bets cost something like a Wetherspoon's pint rather than the swanky bar that's up on its own arse. I'd like to understand more from Stephen and Paul. Is there a place, Stephen, he asks, is there a place for accumulators and the likes of Lucky 15, 63, etc., or are single bets the way to go? SD often says that countries each way terms are outdated. What does he mean by this? And he says, I don't particularly like favourite backing and generally go each way above 5-1. And while I can find winners getting 3 or 4 up, is a little bit tricky for a multiple bet. What's your view on that, Steve?
Right, I very rarely do multiple bets, but I think the question actually nicely sort of prongs in, but bookmakers don't like you doing this. So what do I mean by each way terms being outdated? I mean, people look at you like you've got two heads. If I say I'm going to back a 3-1 shot each way in a novice hurdle, don't do it online for God's sake, because they'll shut your accounts because they're absolutely terrible people.
True.
But yeah, no, they will. They will be brutal.
I've been there. I'm an example of it.
Yes, you're a statistic.
I understand. I'm a number. I'm not a man. I'm a number. Yeah.
Yes, you're an integer. Anyway, if you're backing a 3-1 shot each way in a novice hurdle, theoretically, at a 50 odds, it's 0.6 to 1 chance of placing. So 1.6 on the machine. What you will very often find is it'll be a 2 to 5 shot to place, so 1.4. So you've got that 0.2 in your favour, and then you can sort of take the win bit out of it. The bit you can make money on is sort of perming these up in each way, lucky 15s or 31s or whatever it is you want to do. But I don't like them. I just do not like multiple betting. I like to be in control, and I just do singles. I mean, I advise bets every day, and the amount of people, if I get 2 winners who post a double up, and I feel like saying, well done, but you've not done what I said. I think it's a very quick way to a poor farm. But you can perm them up if you think especially anti-post, you'll know this, Paul. So if you've got, there's some logic there. So if you're looking at the Betfair this weekend, they were paying 3 places, so you would perm that up with, I don't know, maybe the Arkle or something, where you're probably going to get less than 8 runners, especially in this day and age.
Interesting. And actually, the question that follows on from that is very pertinent as a link from Pete Burnett. So thank you, Pete, for writing in. His is very quick. Would Stephen Darbyshire ever contemplate charging for his tips? And what are his opinions on this?
Well, it's a market, isn't it? I try not to. I've not done yet. You don't rule anything out in future, but it is a very easy medium, and I think there are other ways, such as YouTube and all that, who can probably pay me, and that mitigates against the charging of tips. But if I don't mind giving it for free sometimes.
Okay, but if you win this big content award, you'll start charging £50 a point, won't you, on your tips from here on? I'm just sick.
Did you see that Isiris, by the way? Do you remember Isiris from years ago? He got dumped for... Did you see about that?
Terrible.
Have a Google, viewers. Have a Google.
Don't forget, of course, to visit NLG.bet to get involved for resources around safer gambling in Safer Gambling Week. And for NLG.bet, we have, of course, exclusive offers, unique boosts on major sporting events, as well as casino, bingo and virtuals. Whatever you're backing this weekend, you can do it for NRG. Okay.
Play the bingo. And leave us a nice review after you've played your bingo.
Yeah, shout house really loud, and you can go around to Stevens and have a big match with him. What about this weekend? Some brilliant racing this weekend, centred around Haydock and Ascot. What do you like, kid? What do you want?
Well, I think it's fair we start at the Betfair, because we had a difference of opinion, didn't we, on the form of the Colin Parker? Well, we'll see on Saturday. There's only 5 going to post, and fair play to you, probably 3 places each way, handstands.
Yeah, I'm going to get my money back. I'm going to make something, whatever, as long as...
I remember you saying about another bet that money didn't come off, but yeah, theoretically, I'd be surprised. I think for what it's worth, unfortunately, Royal Pagai's gone. That's my working assumption.
Well, the ground's that's what the old boy is it as well.
Well, we're going to get 3 mil. Get 3 or 4 mil, I think.
They need 3 mil, and then you to stand on the track drinking pints 6 hours before the race and piss on the track for the ground to be soft enough for Royal Pagai. So don't tell me it's going to be testing enough for the old boy. It simply is not.
Well, yeah, people saying that they thought it'd be waterlogged earlier in the week. That's Twitter for you. look, I get the form case for Grey Dawning is fairly compelling. I've been backing 80 Killer for some time. He's got to find probably the best part of a stone on the form book. But he's just a very promising horse, isn't he? You know, he's won an Irish national. He's won a national hunt chase. He's very likeable. He's now won his last 3. He of course won on that comeback at Newbury. That from a form point of view, that isn't great. But he's just very much on an upward curve. He's got the man of the moment on him in Sean Bowen. I think Rebecca's very, very likeable indeed. I could just see it. The thing is, we know there are holes in Grey Dawning. Now, he's not unbeatable, so it's an intriguing race. Look, Handstands on official ratings has a pound in hand on him as well, and is 2 years younger. But it just feels like Haiti Killer, is blossoming at the right time.
Yeah, and he's a horse that's so scopy. He's going to take another step forward. He's still there's the old cliches, but he's growing into his frame. He's strengthening up. I wouldn't leave Stella Story out of this as well. I think the Irish runner from Gordon Elliottshire has got half a chance as well. And he needs a little bit more rain. Be interesting to see how they run this race, how the makeup of this race is. I suspect that Great Dawning will be as fit as a butcher's dog, and therefore Harry will go off to make this a test of stamina, which at least will make it a positive race, a well-run race for sure. Now, I wanted to look at the Berkshire National at Ascot, and I studied this race for a couple of hours today, and I came down on Rock My Way, who was 5th in the Scottish National, and then I saw the prices, and blow me off, it was a 4-1 shot. So I've left.
I don't think anyone wants to blow you off, sir.
Well, let's leave that at the kitchen door, shall we? And I thought Credo would run a big race at 20-1, staying on 3rd in the Badger B. I don't think this race is any much better. But my main bet for Saturday, and you're going to hate this because I like going left of centre. 6.25 at Wolverhampton. You may well be there. I don't know. Class 4 handicap. Mr. Baloo off top weight, down to his last winning mark. Got a really good draw in 3. Acts on the track, as we know, and this is the easiest task he's had for the best part of 10 months. I think I'm going to get between 8 and 10-1 about Mr. Baloo, and if I do, I will be having a maximum each way bet on him in the 6.25 at Wolverhampton. You going to be there, Derbyshire? You going to be there?
No, I'm out with bookmakers and watching bookmakers' assistants boxing.
Oh, God, yeah. Trifling with the enemy, sucking up to the enemy.
On course, sir, on course. I shall be in a terrible state, and then because I'm not free for a load of Sundays after, I have to take my dearly beloved Christmas tree shopping.
Well, I can just see you like Hagrid in Harry Potter carrying the Christmas tree home on the.
I don't watch that shit
on your back. Actually, you do look a bit like Hagrid, to be honest.
What's my bet of the weekend? I love Famous Bridge as a horse. I think a lot of people know I love Famous Bridge as a horse.
Yeah, he can't win. He can't win off top weight, giving that weight away first time. There's no way he wins that. There's no way he wins.
Well, let me tell you why, should I?
Go on, then. There's no way he wins.
Well, A, it's not first time up. They give him a spin around there.
Oh, good deal, yeah. Well, thanks for that.
No, but well, he just gets him fit. I think they want to run him in the National. In fact, I'm pretty sure they want to run him in the National. His handicap rating's got to increase from all 3.
Better suited by running in the Welsh National, though.
No, he loves Haydock. He won the what used to be the Greenhalls, didn't he, back in February? Yeah. Subsequently got disqualified off a mark of 138. He won this 2 years ago off a mark of 129. Pardon?
What's he off now?
He's off 138. So he's off the same mark as when he won the Greenhalls in February, which is only 3 runs ago. And if you say one of those was at Cheltenham, which wouldn't be his bag, one was in the Scottish National, fair enough, that wouldn't necessarily be his bag. And they just gave him a spin around air over hurdles to get him fit. So I backed him, and his stable, by the way, didn't have a winner for months and months and months. And the last couple of weeks, they're at damn near 40%, Nickies.
Well,
I think he'll do very well.
I'll doff my cap and my Y fronts to you if he gives that weight away first time out, even though he's had a run out.
It's not first time out.
It is. Now listen, have you got anything else? Or is that the only putrid selection you can give us for the weekend?
Well, no, I gave you Haiti. I gave you Haiti Killer. Look, I'll give you one at a massive price, should I?
Because we're all ears.
Well, he's 50-1 with various outlets, and with one outlet's paying a quarter, which is absolutely bloody madness, in my opinion.
What's the race?
So this is the Ascot Hurdle, 240. Gwenny, my boy, I don't think has that much to find on official ratings. Look, it might be a little bit inadequate in terms of trip for him, but you know what? He won a Rendlesham earlier in the year. He's transferred trainers from Dan Skelton to Ollie Murphy. Now, another one of these Gwennies did that and won first time out in the week. So I think he'll be trying. And I just thought at 50, given it's a pretty filthy each way bet, to be honest. There's 9 runners, you know. I thought he could run into a place and go quite well. So I backed him earlier today.
What price?
Rated £3. I got 50 at a quarter.
He's gone out to 66s now, hasn't he?
Has he?
Yes, in a place.
He's actually rated higher than Potter's Charm. Now, what price is Potter's Charm?
5, 6. Charm is 5-1, yeah.
Yeah. He's rated higher than Celtic Dino. I mean, he's rated higher than Katira, who's getting a
but Celtic Dino's going to improve again, isn't he? You know, and that form has been franked, hasn't it, from the Welsh, what they call the Welsh Champion Hurdle, the Welsh Handicap Champion Hurdle.
Yeah. So maybe. But yeah, it was a speculative dart. We don't like picking favourites. I agree with you, by the way, on Rock My Way. I think Rock My Way will win.
Okay, I just thought he was a bit too short. Maybe I was over-optimistic. I wanted 13-2, 7-1. He's 4-1 and 9-2. Any other business, Mr. Derbyshire, before you go back and finish your McDonald's takeaway?
No.
He's an absolutely greedy sod. Stephen, thank you for being with us again this week.
Yes, great. Do leave us a nice review. Bet with the boys at NRG. They'll let you have as much, well, not as much on as you want, but decent stay. So enjoy yourself, won't you, this weekend?
I'm shitting yourself. You put a Granny May boy because there's going to be an avalanche of money at 50-1. Whatever you're doing this weekend, thank you for joining us again. Make it a profitable one. And hopefully, if Stephen isn't poisoned by his burger, we shall be back this time next week on The Racing Alternative.
Bye-bye.